Family, hi. So we have a prophetic word concerning what is happening in Mexico, and this was released by Brother Brandon. So I actually managed to compile things for you so that you can follow it step by step. And this prophecy was released, I believe, November or October 2025. And we're actually seeing things unfold.
We're entering into 2026. This is a very serious time. And so I see these events taking place, and the Lord said, Donald Trump must finish the race. I have much for him to do. You must pray for his safety, for there's assignments on his life. As I was speaking and talking about President of Mexico, the woman, Claudia, I warned you about Claudia. And I said, Claudia is deep in with the cartel.
Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum says she rejected an offer to have U.S. troops fight drug cartels on Mexican territory. Sheinbaum confirmed President Trump made the offer during some of the calls the two shared since January. She says while the two nations will work together, she will not accept having the United States Army in Mexico.
Donald Trump has exposed the vulnerabilities of Mexico's president during a press stop on Air Force One today.
So Mexico is saying that I offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to take care of the cartel. She wants to know, is that true? Do you think I'm going to answer that question?
That's why I'm not.
I will answer it. It's true. Because they are horrible people that have been killing people left and right. They've made a fortune on selling drugs and destroying our people. We lost 300,000 people last year to fentanyl and drugs. They're bad news. Yeah, that's true. If Mexico wanted help with the cartels, we would be honored to go in and do it. I told her that. I would be honored to go in and do it. The cartels are trying to destroy our country. They're evil. And, we had 300,000 people die last year from fentanyl and all that. We had millions of people brought into this country that shouldn't be here. The cartels brought them in. So if she said that I offered to do that, she's 100% right. Well, she's so afraid of the cartel, she can't walk. So, that's the reason. And I think she's a lovely woman. But the president of Mexico is a lovely woman. But she is so afraid of the cartels that she can't even think straight.
But it was a little different over in Mexico, where the president confirmed that she rejected Trump's offers for help, but explained that she did so from a position of strength and sovereignty.
El día de ayer salió en un periódico de los Estados Unidos, en el Wall Street Journal, que el presidente Trump, en una de las llamadas, me dijo que era importante que entrara el ejército de los Estados Unidos a México para ayudarnos en la lucha contra el narco. Y quiero decir que es verdad, que en algunas de las llamadas, pero no así como lo menciona, dijo, ¿en qué les podemos ayudar para luchar contra el narcotráfico? Les propongo que entre el ejército de los Estados Unidos a ayudarlo. ¿Y saben qué le dije? No, presidente Trump. El territorio es inviolable, la soberanía es inviolable, la soberanía no se vende. La soberanía se ama y se defiende. No hace falta, se puede colaborar, podemos trabajar juntos, pero ustedes en su territorio, nosotros en el nuestro, podemos compartir información, pero nunca vamos a aceptar la presencia del ejército de Estados Unidos en nuestro territorio.
Online commentators had mixed reactions to Trump's comments regarding Mexican cartels, with this person saying the US shouldn't be asking permission to go into Mexico and destroy them. They said, Donald Trump labeling the cartels as international terrorists sounded bold, but what was the point if we're only going to act with permission and only when asked? That's wild. This person agreed, saying, don't ask next time. But this person wasn't as gracious to the Mexican president as Trump was, saying it's almost as if she's protecting them.
How they get to the top. But what I'm trying to tell you all is the Lord said people don't just get to the top down there. This is something very dark. But I want to show you what this woman has guts. This woman has a backbone like a crowbar. She's standing for her nation. I don't know who she is, but she's on Fox News, and she has a target on her now.
The president of Mexico is furious. She's calling Mexican Senator Lily Tellez a traitor for coming on Fox Noticias with me a few days ago and saying this. Listen.
The help from the United States to fight the cartels in Mexico is absolutely welcome, and that is how the majority of Mexicans feel. The only ones who don't like that President Trump is sending help and trying to support Mexicans against the cartels are the narco-politicians. That includes President Sheinbaum.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum responding, saying, quote, "It's not a minor issue that a senator gave an interview to a foreign media outlet calling for intervention." Here to discuss is that Mexican Senator Lily Tellez. Senator Tellez, welcome to Fox Noticias. I'm just going to get right to it. Is Mexico a narco-state?
Yes, it is. And we all Mexicans know about it. And Mexicans are afraid of the alliance between the Mexican government and the cartels that have infested our nation.
Can you explain this alliance between the president, her party, the Morena party, and the cartels?
Yes, the party has financed, has given, the cartels have given so much money to these politicians, narco politicians of Morena, to get into office, to get the power. So they protect. The Mexican government protects the cartels. That is why President Sheinbaum doesn't want the strong American leadership to help Mexico defeat the cartels. And also Sheinbaum doesn't want the rest of the world to know what is happening here in Mexico. We are on the steps to be the next Venezuela. She is aligned with Venezuela's dictator, with Cuba, and we are losing our country. They have destroyed our Republican institutions, the democratic state, and we must. I think we all Mexicans want and welcome the support of the United States to assist Mexican people against the cartels that have us all in this crisis with the traffic in fentanyl and migrants.
So her response to this, and I know this because her spokesperson came on our show in response to your interview, and they say, well, we just turned over 26 cartel members. We're working, we're sharing intelligence. What are they not doing? And why is she so resistant? She sort of speaks out of two sides of her mouth. We're working with you, Trump, and then she's chastising you for saying we need more help from the United States to crush the cartels.
Because she really doesn't want the help of the United States. She is lying to Mexican people, telling Mexican people that the United States will get in control of the whole country. Right. I never listened such nonsense from President Trump. What we have listened is that President Trump wants to help Mexican people against the cartels. Mexican people are suffering. So what they do is very, very little. We have huge narco politicians here in the Senate, in the presidents, governors. Mexico is a very dangerous place.
Well, that brings me to my next question, because you are speaking very bluntly, very clearly about Mexico being a narco state and the alliance and the connections to the president of Mexico. Are you afraid for your life?
Yes, I am afraid. And the president has threatened me to proceed against me with criminal prosecution, to get me out of the Senate and get me in jail, just because I told you in this space and Fox News what is the reality of our country with the cartels. The cartels are dominating everything here in Mexico. They are in all the offices of the government, in the states, in the cities, and in the national government. So, of course, I am afraid, but I want people to know I will not step back.
Now, remember what I told you. Cuba, Venezuela, those two countries, for sure, the Lord said mules are coming from there. And there is alliances with Mexico concerning the cartel and major corruption with finances that involve the Mexican government. Like I said, we're at the Valley of Decision. And so I'm going to go over some of the things the Lord has showed me concerning Cuba and the storm coming out of Cuba. I've warned about Cuba more than I warned about Venezuela. Cuba was a hot spot. Cuba's more serious than Venezuela. We went after Venezuela and we took Maduro out, and that's all done, right? No, it's not done. There's more coming. There's storm. The drug cartels, they don't want to let go. They've had a stronghold over that nation. This is big money. This isn't just a couple $1 million. This is billions of dollars of drug trafficking. They've had a stronghold on that nation. There's key leaders, there's key people through Cuba that are very dark, and it goes into with Claudia, and it's a 3-stranded cord. The Lord said, I'm going to shake these nations.
In Mexico, the army has confirmed the death of one of the country's most feared drug lords, known as El Mencho, caught and killed in a dawn raid. He was killed in an operation in the town of Telpapa. The US had previously issued a $15 million reward for the capture of the co-founder and leader of the Jalisco New Generation drugs cartel. It's feared for its use of extreme violence. Violence broke out in the country as a result of his killing. Suspected members of the cartel began burning dozens of cars and trucks in the state and a neighboring state as the army moved in, possibly to try to delay the operation. Our Latin America correspondent Will Grant joins us now from Mexico. Good to have you with us, Will. First of all, for people who might not know anything about El Mencho, who was he?
He was crucial, Nami. I mean, we often talk in Mexico about kingpins and drug lords and so on. This was one of the very, very biggest. In this particular moment in time, the most wanted man in Mexico, by some distance, I would say. The feared leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, which is a vast criminal organization which traffics tons and tons of methamphetamine, cocaine and fentanyl into the United States, responsible for scores of murders a year, and one of those who really underpins the criminal underworld in this nation. Of course, it's a major victory on some level for the authorities here, for the military who killed him in a raid, injured him initially, and then he died en route to Mexico City. But of course, we're seeing the unfolding violence that goes with that, as his organization is extremely powerful and very, very well armed.
Now, National Guard have been deployed outside the Attorney's office after that killing. We just showing some live pictures there in Mexico City of the National Guard outside the office. And Will, just give us a sense of what happens when leaders are taken out, this sort of kingpin strategy. Does it work? Is it something that, what happens as a result of it?
It can have an impact. I mean, somebody like El Mencho, these organizations can be quite top heavy in the sense that an individual leader can be an important, more than just a cog in a bigger machine.
This is a Fox News alert. We're continuing to monitor the situation unfolding in Mexico, where the U.S. Embassy has put out a security alert for all American citizens to shelter in place. This comes amid reports of violence erupting in the state of Jalisco. Tourists at a resort in the city of Puerto Vallarta were told not to leave the resort, while photos and video shared with Fox News Digital capture billowing dark smoke clouding the skyline of the city. This frightening situation occurs after Mexican security forces say they killed one of the most notorious drug cartel leaders in their country, El Mencho, head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. All right, so this comes not just in a vacuum. It comes in context of President Trump declaring the cartels foreign terrorist organizations and then taking out Maduro. Would Mexico be doing this if it hadn't been for the pressure President Trump is putting on them?
I don't believe so. I mean, I don't know the domestic politics of Mexico in depth. I know that Mexico has, every leader we've seen in Mexico has tried to find some way to, I guess, live with these cartels, maybe out of fear, maybe out of being corrupt in bed with them. I'm not sure. But I think President Trump's made it clear that we're not going to stand for it. And they're just a little bit, listen, if Democrats want us to have an open border, we might can just jump across that border going in the other direction and take care of some of these folks. And so that's been the, rather than letting the cartels in, we're going to push the door, make it open the other way, and send some folks in down there. It's kind of been the threat with President Trump in this administration. We did see what happened in Venezuela, and I don't think Mexico is far off from that. I don't think we're going to try to overthrow the government, but these cartels aren't waging war. These cartels are waging war on us, not just Mexico. And for that reason, we have every right in the world to have an interest in them going away. And it seems like Mexico maybe feels empowered, maybe supported. I'm not sure what we're doing is in the shadows, but it looks like they're taking steps to correct that.
Seen some of the dramatic footage from your balcony, actually, Dan. What's the situation right now, at least where you are?
Where I am right now, things have calmed down a little bit, but certainly just a matter of hours ago, it was pretty intense. I mean, I'm in town working. I've been here at a conference speaking, and today was the one day where I was going to relax on a beach, but that all drastically changed very quickly. I went outside and I saw plumes of smoke on one side of me, plumes of smoke on another, all around. Quickly looked it up and found out that there were multiple cars on fire. There was cartel stopping blockades on the streets, buses set on fire. There was members of the conference that I was at, attendees who had their own taxi cab pulled over, and cartel shot the taxi driver, murdered him right in front of them, set the car on fire, and they lost all their luggage, their passport. So people I know have been directly affected by this. And the scene was rather intense. I went outside of my hotel and saw smoldering cars and military men with, guns and ski masks driving around. And I wasn't sure if it was military or maybe it was the cartel, but it was pretty scary and intense to be out there on the scenes reporting on this, because I don't know if this is going to continue to escalate or if this is going to die down. But from what I saw today, it looks like this is kind of showing no signs of slowing at this point. So this may continue to escalate. Yeah. Hopefully not. Yeah.
Folks, this is exactly why we're called to pray.
So I'd like to hear what you think concerning this. And really, God does speak. You need to keep on praying for these nations. And, prayers are working. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. God bless you.